If you have a topic that's a little bit complicated and needs explaining and maybe a couple of examples to go with it, video is a great way to communicate whatever message it is you're trying to send. And that's what this week's mainstream video is all about. So keep watching to learn more.
I have been obsessed with film since I was 3 years old.
I have lots of experience in the corporate marketing video world. I started working in video production in 1995.
Let's talk about AJL Foundation. So this is one of my favorite clients. It's a friend, let's be honest. This friend hired me. She's a very good friend, but she's also an incredibly impressive executive director of a foundation. So they hired us to create a video that explained program-related investments. Now, this is a very, inside baseball topic for people involved in the investing and foundation world. So foundations have a status where as long as they give away 5% of their earnings every year, they can be categorized as foundation status. Everyone in the foundation world knows this, but the real pioneers of philanthropy and changing the world for better, aka Christy Petrie, she wants to take it a step further. There's a lot of different ways to structure these investments. It's a very deep dive into the finances, and she wanted to hire us to use the power of video to tell that story. So we actually did a case study of one of the program-related investments that they did, and we went to a CASA organization in Montrose that they loaned X amount of money to. Watch the video, it explains all of this, and talked through what that looked like and what it made possible for them and how it was still an investment for AJL. It wasn't just a grant or a donation. It was a way for it to be both a win-win, and it was a really incredible video to get people to understand how they might start using that in their programs and their foundations. The thing that was different about this video, one, we traveled, so we couldn't use our normal crew, which was a bummer, but that said, I mean, you guys weren't even at the shoot. No, that's right. Okay, so I went up there and we used a guy who was incredible, actually a recommendation for America, so obviously, if it passes the Erica test, I am 100% not worried at all. And he was fantastic. He set up a beautiful shot. And then we also used animation. We utilized animation to really tell that story of the 5%. And the storyboard process was great. Christy had a very specific vision of what this lesson was, how this was going to be understood. We included her in the video, and it was a real documentary feel. What other notes do you guys have about that from the editing standpoint?
Yeah, it was a lot of back and forth with the animator.
Yes.
To get to the one, the main pie graphic, that was used. Erica finished the edit beautifully. I guess one cool thing about being an editor is that I have to be able to understand what the video is to make sure that the audience understands. So in a way, I was learning about it in a way that the audience would be learning about it. So it's kind of a cool experience to be able to dive in deep and be able to understand this stuff to make sure that the audience can then understand it as well. Because it is complicated.
So her goal was, even if 5 people see this and we're able to talk, 5 of the right people to see it that can understand what program-related investments are, that was going to be a win for her. The video now has 243 views. So 243 might not sound like a huge number, but 243 people in the philanthropy space, people that own foundations or run foundations, that is a huge impact. So we were super pumped to work on that video with her.
One thing that I think you didn't mention is the term for this is called impact investing, right?
Oh, yeah. Did I not?
You did not say impact investing.
Impact investing. This is all about impact investing.
I'll just sneak that in somehow.
Somehow sneak that in. Sorry, Christy.